Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Doxy and I am a 90s kid. And as a 90s kid, I already knew that the old school anime we had way back then in the 90s had a very different kind of magic. But I have found a video today that explains exactly what the 90s did better than our current modern day anime. And honestly, I just want to see if they're spitting facts. So that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's get straight into it.
Do you guys remember when anime looked like this?
I do. It was so pretty.
Like, this was some sexy looking anime.
It was.
Like, these were some top tier drawings. Like, these drawings were making me want to just...
Alright, mate, chill.
These are anime in the 90s.
Like, I'm sorry, man, but like, look at the color palette. Look at the heart behind it, the uniqueness to it. They don't make it like this no more.
This has improved over time, and I mean, we went from characters sitting in empty spaces by themselves to this.
And this is beautiful. I love this too.
And although we do have the technology that has helped anime propelled in the way it did over time, I feel like most companies can forget that. Back then, anime had that distinct art style that had an aesthetic.
Had feeling, man.
Can you please tell me why this anime character is looking at me like that? Why is she looking so good?
I don't know, mate. He needs to chill. Like, majorly chill.
When I was a child,
Dragon Ball.
Early in the morning to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Childhood, bro.
Every single character was, and how they trained. Even though it was dang near impossible to train in 100 times gravity, to look like that, I would. Knowing that, can somebody explain to me why Dragon Ball characters now are so skinny?
Bro, I've been saying this for so damn long. Like, I do not understand why out of the blue, I don't know if it's because of like the change to digital, I don't know if it's like the moving away from cell animation, but everyone suddenly became really generically skinny. And I don't know if it's, like I said, due to the lack of cell animation and going to pure digital, or if they're trying to make it relatable or realistic. That would be dumb though, because no one watches Dragon Ball for realism. I sure as hell don't. Like, I want to see this muscular human being fight this muscular human being with energy beams and ki and all that nonsense. That's what I watch it for. I don't need relatability here. I don't need it to change. It don't look right. No one looks at Dragon Ball Super and goes, that's beautiful. But everyone looks back at Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, even GT to a degree, and goes, yeah, that's Dragon Ball. And they should have kept it there. Sorry, this is almost turning into a rant, but this is something that's always kind of irked me a little bit. Honestly, just bring back cell animation, because cell animation, as much as it took longer, made it look nicer. It had heart, it had uniqueness, it wasn't generic, it didn't piss me off. God damn it.
Like they did my boy Gohan wrong.
They did, they ruined Gohan.
I feel like I'm squatting more than him. I'm not gonna lie.
Stop the cap.
To put it into words, nowadays, anime just looks
generic,
unoriginal. And before you guys start attacking me, calm down. I already see the comments being typed. Just hear me out. Hear me out on this point. In this day and age, studios currently have no use to sit and derail from what's most popular right now. Like the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is being taken to another level in this era. Many characters have the same look.
I've said this before.
These are basically the same characters with a different
font. I mean, there you go.
This one looks like he ran out of budget though. I can't lie. Bro looks like he need to be scrapped off the list. But I came to a realization though. The actual reason for this dilemma in the medium today, we'll have to take it back to the detachment of selling.
This is what I was just saying. It killed it. Killed the aesthetics.
Cell animation is a form of 2D animation that was strictly hand drawn.
And it was beautiful.
No help, no auto fill-in frames. Every single frame was done by hand. Many companies came up using this technique because at the time it was the preferred and best looking method. But
look at it, man.
Like to point out about cell animation. Cell animation gave artists creative freedom. And yeah, trust that the animators took full advantage of this. Because they got so good to the point that the animation industry had finally hit its...
It was just how it should have been, man. Like, things looked different sometimes. Things didn't always look exactly the same. There was always like a little error here or a little deviation there, and it gave it that heart. Like, hear me out here a second. If you go back to the 90s, or even do it now after watching this video and line up Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Old School One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, stuff like that, they all have their own unique feel to them because they're hand-drawn. Nowadays, unfortunately, if you line up like 10 shows at random, take out the main character and just go, hey, look at this art style, what show is it? You don't know, because 90% of shows look very similar nowadays, and that's a problem. All of the uniqueness, all of the personality, and all the character has come out of anime now. Yes, they look beautiful. Yes, they have improved dramatically, but they don't have the same heart and soul that the 90s had, that the 80s had. Like, how, go back as far as you want. It just don't look right anymore. It doesn't reel you in. It's just pretty.
The golden age of animation is what I'd like to call in today's terms peak.
Absolutely
This is the time
peak.
when drawings and backgrounds started to have that insane detail.
Mm-hmm.
From the hair strand on a character's head to the fingernails on each
Hey, look at it, man.
I'm talking about that Studio Ghibli,
Mm.
that cowboy,
Mm-hmm.
that old school.
Oh yes, preach, my brother. This man is cooking something hot and spicy today. Good lord.
Anime ain't look this good. It had that beautiful but warm color palette that every time you watched it, you couldn't help but feel cozy and wanted
It made
to
you
relax in
happy.
the most chill way possible. This is the animation that you see on those slowed and reverb songs we listen to.
It is, yes.
It's because it carried that, and dare I say, that vibe.
That vibe. Okay, why am I watching the Chica dance now? It kind of flows really well, but why am I watching it?
This animation resonated with your soul. The problem with anime today is anime can sometimes look too perfect.
Exactly, I don't want
What
perfect.
I'm saying, every drawing looks like it had no room for error. And that can take away from what we can relate to when watching these shows. The main thing is humans aren't perfect.
Not at all.
And that's what makes art. It was those mistakes or imperfections that allowed you to resonate with the photo you were looking at on another level. Those imperfections were the perfections. Boiling down what we made from creative minds to overly saturated photos with
Good show,
no
though.
room for error takes away from the art that you were witnessing because it lacks that humanness. Now, I'm not gonna take away from what digital animation has enabled us to do. There's a reason why so much anime are even able to come out. Doesn't mean all of them are good, let's be honest. But there are many anime, and I mean many, that are expanding on the creativity in their own fashion. For example, Ranking of Kings, Chainsaw,
Oh, good show.
and even Afro Samurai.
Good show.
These animes understand the advantage that they have today with their digital advantage. And instead of just using it, they embrace it. They're using completely 3D environments, for example, camera angles we wouldn't have ever gotten with 2D animation. This is the digital animation's way of immersing you into their TV show. They use other techniques to keep you engaged. Maybe later down the line, people might view the beginning of this digital era as a what was.
Hey,
Thank you
maybe.
for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe. That would be extremely appreciated, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about this thing.
So do I, actually. I would like to know what you guys think here, because I think entirely it depends when you were born. Like, if you were born in the late 2000s, then you probably are growing up with Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, that kind of stuff, and that's perfectly fine. So that's what you're used to. But if you're born in the 90s, for example, or maybe even earlier, like the 80s, then you're probably more used to, like, Fist of the North Star, Yu Yu Hakusho, early One Piece, that kind of ilk of an art style, and that's perfectly fine too. But I'd be very curious if there's someone in the modern era who's like 16, 17, who genuinely prefers the art style of like the early 90s or the late 90s, whatever it may be, and vice versa, if there's someone who's 55 who really prefers the current modern day aesthetic. Either which way, it's all your preference. But something he said genuinely resonated with me, and it's purely because I also am an artist, and he said art is not meant to be perfect, there's meant to be mistakes. And one of the first lessons I ever learned being an artist was every artist makes mistakes, a good artist knows how to hide them. And that is the most true statement ever. Because honestly, I'm going to be real with you, perfection is incredibly jarring most of the time. And for me personally, if I'm looking at artwork or something that's supposed to resonate with my soul, I like those deviations. I like those mistakes. I like the whole perfectly imperfect vibe because it makes it feel more real. You sit there and realize that some lovely human being has drawn this out just for you, just for your happiness, and it feels more like a gift. Anyone can sit and learn how to do it on a computer, but doing it by hand has so much more feeling behind it. Like, you will feel everything they've done if it's done correctly, and for me, that's how it should have stayed. But maybe I'm old, maybe I'm stuck in the past, who knows, maybe I just refuse to move forward with the times, but that's whatever. Either which way, guys, please let me know in the comments what your personal preference is. There's no judgments, I'm just very, very curious, but I hope you enjoyed the video today. I feel nostalgic, I'm in a really good mood after that. I really enjoyed that video. I hope you guys did too, and I'll see you next time for more anime content. Peace out, guys. Have a beautiful day.